But obviously that's very, grandiose, is very ambitious. And although we are ambitious, today's discussion, I was thinking we could. But obviously that's very, grandiose, is very ambitious. And although we are ambitious, today's discussion, I was thinking we could structure it in a more macro level, and then in future discussions go into a bit more detail. Inshallah ta'ala.
And this is how it should be.
So I mean, you recently wrote a paper, an academic paper called about Nahdatul Ummah. And we in discussing before in the past, we said Nahda can be translated as reform, or maybe better still revival. Could you describe what you meant by that, and what your vision, what reform means to you, basically?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah. I wrote this paper in Arabic, and inshallah I will maybe rewrite it, or maybe write the summary of it in English, inshallah, soon. The title of the topic of the paper is about the revival of the Ummah. How can the Ummah go back into or how can the Ummah achieve what it should achieve? What does the Ummah should achieve? What does it should achieve? See, Allah Jalla wa Ala called this Ummah the best of nations. كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر. You were the best nation ever raised to mankind, enjoining the good and forbidding the evil. Allah Jalla wa Ala also described this ummah as ummatan wasata. وكذلك جعلناكم أمة وسطا لتكونوا شهداء على الناس ويكون الرسول عليكم شهيدا. On the day of judgment, we will testify before mankind that Allah Jalla wa Ala sent to them prophets who delivered the messages. Now there are many verses from the Quran and from the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ that confirm that this ummah should not be just a simple nation. It should be one of the leading nations, if not the leading nation of humanity. And if we look as a practical proof for this theory or this concept, if we look at the life of the Prophet ﷺ, the life of the companions, the life of the followers, the life of Muslims throughout history, we will see that the Ummah, and let me just go back a little bit from a historical perspective. Islam came when the Prophet ﷺ came by his message, what that was 1400 years plus ago. Now, since then, Islam was either the main superpower or one of the main superpowers, most of its time.
And what do you mean by superpower here?
Except, just I'll clarify that in a minute, except maybe in the last 100 years. First of all, we have the Khulafa Rashidin, the four rightly guided caliphs, followed by the Umayyan period, followed by the Abbasi period. The Abbasi period ended in 656, which means 650 years after the advent of the Prophet ﷺ. The Umayyan period was the largest, or I think they say the third largest country known in history. They say Britain was the first, or Great Britain was the first.
The British Empire.
The British Empire, I mean. I think the Chinese was second, don't quote me about the second. And the third, they said the Umayyan period. There is a discussion about that. This is not a relevant issue. The issue here is the Umayyan period, for a long period of time, was the main superpower in the world. And even when the Abbasids took over, again the Abbasids were one of the main superpower, and after some time they were one of the main players in the whole world, until the Abbasi Caliphate fell down in Baghdad in 656. However, the Ummah, there was a revival again. Within 50 years, the Ottomans came, and interestingly, some historians said the year the Abbasi Caliphate was demolished, it was the birthday of Ottoman, Othman, the son of Uthman, the son of Ertugrul, who started the Ottoman Empire. Now, the Ottoman Empire started 50 or 100 years after the demolition of the Abbasi Caliphate and remained as one of the main superpowers in the world again for 600 years plus. So now Islam started 1400 years ago. Among those 1400 years ago, Islam was either the superpower, or the Muslim Ummah was one, or either that superpower or one of the main superpowers for 1200 years. Which means that historically Islam was either the main superpower or one of the main superpowers over 80% of its existence. So Islam, yes, by nature in terms of its justice, its high morality, its comprehensive system, its system that meets the needs of individuals, human beings. Islam by its nature that connects people to that superpower, the real superpower, Allah Jalla wa'ala, makes or empowers people to become, or empowers its followers to build strong societies that maintain justice and spread justice all over the world and guide people to worship Allah Jalla wa'ala so they can achieve the best in this life and the best in the hereafter.
So that's a very broad kind of outlook on last 1400 years. Right. So you're saying
and this is very important because we need to zoom out and we need to look at the history. Why is this? Because so many people feel defeated. So many Muslims feel defeated and they feel demoralized and they feel inferior. They need to go and zoom out to look at the Islamic history and to see that no, it is just a matter of the last 100 years that we Muslims lost it because they are disunited and they did not take the enough means to become as they used to be.
Have Muslims been united for the last 1400 years?
To a large extent, yes.
So that is it, that particular type of unity that was lost that what you mean by revival
this
today?
Is one of the elements. This is one of the elements. See, during the first period, the Khulafa Rashidin, the four rightly guided caliphs, the Ummah was united under one Khalifa. During the Umayyan period, most of the Ummah was united under one Caliph. During the Abbasi period, there were some Islamic countries or Islamic states next to the Abbasi Caliphate, but at least the Abbasi Caliphate was known as the Caliphate. No one challenged their Caliphism or being the Caliphate, the representatives of Muslims. And they were not fighting among each other. Sometimes, yes, there might be fights, but these fights were minor, compared to what is happening now. This is, it is not the ideal situation like it was during the Umayyan period or during of course, the four rightly guided caliphs, but there was a level of unity that was enough to maintain them as one of the superpowers, if not the main superpower. Same thing happened during the Ottoman Empire.
So
during the last
revival, sorry to interrupt you. So when you say revival, you're talking specifically about a kind of political power of
just
Muslims?
Political power is the end of the or is one of the fruits. You can say actually it was one of the fruits and one of the means. But the revival is not just the political revival. We need revival in terms of number of things. And in my paper, I said, in order to have this revival, I've been contemplating over this for a long period of time. And that paper was an outcome of so many discussions with so many scholars all over the world, from maybe the Middle East, or from Europe, or from different places. So I said this revival, first of all, let us define what revival is. Okay, what do we want to achieve? We want the Ummah to be, as strong as it was, before. Either the main superpower or one of the main superpowers. Why not? We have now superpowers. We have the Christians, whether the Orthodox or the Protestant. We have America and Russia as the main superpowers. We have also some other superpowers or other powerful countries. Like Germany, of course, Great Britain and France. And maybe some other countries. Now, why don't we have the Muslim Ummah as one of those countries? Is it just the world, is it dominated by certain people or the followers of certain religions, or certain religion? No, Muslims, they have the capabilities, they have the moral ground, they have all means that make them one of the strong countries, one of the superpowers. Now, just to elaborate on this, now it is very unfortunate. Now some people might say, why? It is very unfortunate that we see Muslims, some Muslim countries are fighting among themselves. Not only that, we see, as the statistics confirmed, that the biggest number of refugees in the world are coming from what?
Muslim countries.
From Muslim countries. There are over-rich Muslim countries, in the Middle East, but also among the poorest countries in the world, there are Muslim countries. There is social injustice that is taking place in many Muslim countries. Why is this? If Muslims were united in one of those strong countries, there will be social justice, not only for them as Muslims, but even for non-Muslims. Not only that, when non-Muslims see that Islam can build a modern civilization, a strong civilization, a strong country, a strong society, then they will see the reality of Islam and they will not be pushed away from Islam, and they will come to Islam. They will see this beauty of Islam and they might endorse Islam. So this is one thing. As we said, moreover, stopping injustice, stopping crimes that are either committed in the name of Islam or crimes that are committed by in the name of other religions. If Muslims were one of the main players in the world, there will be an equilibrium and there will be a balance between the powers, between the followers of different religions. These are some of the benefits and some of the motivations, that should motivate us to, as Muslims, to look for this issue, how to become strong, as an ummah, whether in a country or in different countries, whether definitely in order to be strong, Muslim countries have to be united. So we as Muslims all over the world, irrespective of our countries that we live in or we belong to, we should all cooperate in order to have this revival for our ummah, because everyone is going to benefit from that revival, not only Muslims but even non-Muslims.
So to summarize, you're saying for revival for you means several different things at once.
Yes.
So political unity.
Yes.
Right. Despite Muslims being geographically separated.
Yes.
There should be some kind of
unity,
presence,
coordination,
some kind of political presence.
Yes.
On earth.
Yes.
There should be the sharing of resources between amongst Muslims.
Yes, social justice.
So not having super rich and super poor.
Exactly.
At the same time. Social justice. What do you mean by social justice here? Just justice?
Justice, and justice in all fields of life. Whether economically, socially.
So some kind of law, legal system of being applied.
Yes, that maintain that maintains justice.
Isn't this what already exists in the modern day? We have loads of different countries with Muslim majorities. How many 20 odd signatories of the United Nations? They have Sharia as their official legal code. Whether or not it's suitably implemented or not, but isn't that what everyone thinks they're doing anyway?
No, that is not the case. Because
Organization of Islamic Cooperation.
Yeah, that is not the case, because as we said, okay, as we just mentioned, there are so many poor Muslim countries. Yeah,
but wouldn't you get that even under the Abbasids or under the Ottomans?
No, but there were some maybe poor individuals, but not to this level of disparity. Okay, not to this level. Some Muslims are fighting among themselves. Okay, as we mentioned regarding the number of refugees from Muslim countries, it is the biggest. Yeah, also parts of the Muslim world's lands are occupied by other people. Okay, so that means and now
there's no one kind of defending the other countries.
Exactly.
Rights.
And now, so this is the situation. So you cannot say that Muslim countries now are in a good shape, let alone that they are not implementing what they claim to have. Yeah, it's true that 20 plus, I don't remember exactly the figure, but there are so many countries in the Muslim world, in the Arab world, who signed and they have Sharia as their main legal system, but rarely any of them is implementing Sharia fully or to a large extent. So the situation definitely is bad. No one would argue about that. Okay, of the Muslim Ummah now, generally speaking.
But couldn't someone say that maybe you're looking at history? Maybe with like rose-tinted spectacles, you're only seeing the good part and not necessarily. We don't see, someone's not going to necessarily write how much disunity was, how much poverty and infighting between rival tribes or Muslim areas were. But we just see like in a summary, we just see okay, there was this empire, there was this sultanate, there was this caliphate here and there.
Yeah.
And we kind of gloss over the many problems that they might have had at that time.
They might, of course, they had some problems, but those problems are minor compared to what they have achieved and to the living standards that they had and to the power that they had. Okay, at least their enemies at that time, they were afraid of them, they were afraid of attacking them, they were afraid of maybe violating their rights and taking their lands, etc. Okay, it is just these days, and maybe during the last period of the Ottoman Empire, the Muslim Ummah became very weak, that no one is bothered about the Muslim Ummah.
There's also a growing kind of number of people that publicly voice, and some of them, they're scholars, ostensibly people of knowledge. The way they talk about these things is, okay, yeah, it would be good if there's a revival, it would be good if there's, the Muslim Ummah is strong, but it's not our job to do that. Have you come across this?
Whose job to do it?
So the question could be posed that, how do we know it's our job to bring about revival? Is it our job to work towards doing something like what you're saying, or is it the job of statesmen?
So once we say we want revival, okay, it means that we should work towards that. Okay, to bring that or not to bring that, it is in the hands of Allah Jalla wa'ala. But at least we should do something towards that goal. The problem is, if we do not have that as a goal, and definitely any individuals,
but isn't this a goal everyone shares?
Society, those who do not have goals to achieve in their life, they will not achieve. Each great country, civilization, even each great individual, he will have a great goal to live for. Yeah, he will be inspired by that goal. Yeah, he or she or they going to be inspired by that goal. What is our goal as Muslim Ummah? Okay, what is the goal of the Muslim Ummah? To remain as they are. No one is bothered about them. There is disparity in terms of social justice. There is injustice committed against them from different nations. We have seen what happened to Muslims in Rohingya. We have seen what happened to Muslims in Central Africa. We have seen what happened to Muslims in China, or in some places in China. We have seen what happened to Muslims elsewhere. In fact, let me just mention something else. You know, even on a micro level, you know, the Islamophobia that is on rise in some Western countries.
Yeah.
That if Muslims, had backing by a strong Muslim Ummah, then this Islamophobia will not take place for two reasons. One, those who are Islamophobic will be afraid, to harm Muslims. Secondly, which is more important than maybe the first reason, people will look up to Islam. Yeah, will look up to Islam. They will see Islam as one of the best systems. Yeah, and Islam built great civilizations in the past, and it is building a great civilization now. So people will respect Islam, will love Islam, so there will be no Islamophobia. If now
or there will be less.
Sorry, yes, yeah. Or maybe there will be no institutionalized Islamophobia.
Okay.
Anyway, the idea is clear. Some Western countries, those who banned niqab.
Yeah.
Some people might say this is a big issue, this is a minor issue. I'm not talking about that, but the fact that they had the courage to ban an Islamic practice, yeah, and none of the Muslim countries have spoken about that.
So
this shows
our post-revival, as
you're
saying, for example, if that were to happen, there would be, you know, some diplomatic spat or some sanctions or whatever.
And not only that, before that happens, if
people would think twice before.
Yes, before doing something like this. This is my point.
That brings us to another question. This question some people are asking on social media, and that is, in your vision for an Islamic revival or a Muslim revival, where do Muslims that live in as minorities in predominantly non-Muslim countries, where do we fit into this?
Yeah, see, whether we went to this Muslim caliphate or whether Muslims in European countries don't go this, but they will be living in a better shape. And this can be discussed later. Yeah, maybe we can, if Muslims in Western countries, they feel that they are part of the Ummah, they are supported by the Ummah. If Western countries or other countries like China, not necessarily Western countries, or for example Burma, towards the Muslim Rohingyas, if they feel that there are Muslims who support those Muslims, and those Muslims are part of the Ummah, which is a strong Ummah, they will not do these things to them. This is the point. Now, if Muslims, whether in China or in Europe or in Rohingya or in Africa, Central Africa, if they live, and they maintain their Islam, they practice their Islam as much as they can, and they live safely, while they practice their Islam, then it is up to them to decide to go back or not to go back. This is a very early discussion.
What about Muslims here in UK, for example?
Same thing. Same thing applies. If I live, if I live comfortably here, I feel the belonging. My children feel the belonging here, and I practice. I feel secure. in terms of my faith, in terms of my Islamic practices, etc., then the discussion about whether I live here or there, to be honest with you, it will be irrelevant. Yeah? And again, as I said, maybe because by that time, I don't know whether I will be living or not, but by that time, even historically, there were some Muslims, who were living in non-Muslim lands, because from maybe ethnicity, okay, they belong to those lands, yeah, so they remained in their lands, in their countries, yeah, okay, so that can happen. It's not really a big issue, yeah.
Okay, so you've described, roughly speaking, what the an end goal,
yeah,
okay, how it will look.
Yeah.
Obviously depends on you know the landscape at the time, but what is your strategy then that you're proposing to get there? Because and how is it different to any other strategy? Because what you described sounds a lot like what any group, any revivalist group from the 20th century onwards has been calling for. You know, we want them.
I don't know whether they are. Maybe they are calling for something similar, or maybe we have. Or yes, you are right. Maybe this is what all Muslims wish to have, or most Muslims wish to have, or most Muslim thinkers wish to have. Okay?
We've seen different types of movements. Some have been located to individual countries like India, Pakistan, some Egypt.
Yes.
Some have been more global, kind of pan-Islamic.
You are right, because this is the dream for all Muslims. I pull up my
so what
initial statement.
What is your strategy for this?
The way I see it, okay, I propose the following: that this revival will take place, okay, on two legs. On two legs. The first leg is Dawa, and the second leg is empowerment of the Muslim masses. Now, Da'wah is clear. We need
Da'wah is specifically meaning calling to Allah.
Calling to Allah, okay. Whether calling non-Muslims to accept Islam, or calling Muslims to accept Islam more, to understand Islam more, to practice Islam more. This is what we mean by Da'wah. Either non-Muslims to accept Islam, or Muslims to practice Islam in a better way, to understand Islam in a better way, to go back to Allah Jalla Ala more. Now, the second leg, which is the empowerment of the Muslim masses. What do I mean by that? Okay, it is very unfortunate that if you look at most of the Muslim countries, the power does not lie with the Muslim masses. The power, or the power lies with a few dictators. In most Muslim countries. Even if some Muslim countries claim that they have democracy, but it is a fake democracy. It is not true democracy. It is controlled by the deep state, or by the army, by the armies in those countries.
Or whatever administration or authoritarian structures that were left behind after colonialism.
After colonialism, except maybe a few countries such as maybe Turkey now, they are experiencing good level of democracy. In fact, it is something that that is unique, that is happening in the Muslim Ummah, and we commend them for that. But I don't know whether there are some other good examples, but as we mentioned, it is a form of dictatorship, whether it is a monarchy dictatorship, or dictatorship covered by democratic labels only. Now,
so before you carry on, Sheikh, some people are gonna say, wait a second, what do you mean? You're speaking of democracy in a praiseworthy way, and there are some people who that's a sticking point for them, because we have a lot of maybe fatwas from the
agree. This is one of the problems. We misunderstood democracy. We misunderstood democracy. Many Muslims misunderstood democracy. and they have what I call democracy phobia. Yeah, okay, just when they hear the word democracy without thinking about it, just they immediately think of certain fatwas that were exported or imported from certain countries. Maybe some of those fatwas, okay, maybe they were politically motivated, or those fatwas were issued by scholars who misunderstood what democracy is. Okay,
but it's understandable to see in some eras the rhetoric against democracy, because democracy for them was just the label that colonialism was using to import and further embed many structures which are which today we would call anti-democratic.
No, I disagree with that. Okay, I disagree with that. But see, for me, okay, for me, whether the empowerment of people, it can happen. You want to call it Shura, you wanted to call it democracy. For me, as I said, or as I was about to say, there is no major difference.
It's just a term that you're using.
Okay.
What do you mean by the term?
Okay, وَأَمْرُهُمْ شُورَى بَيْنَهُمْ, yeah, which was mentioned in Surah al-Shura. Yeah, if you want to translate it maybe in a fancy translation, you can say, okay, وَأَمْرُهُمْ شُورَى, their decision is taken by democracy. Okay, I know that makes some young people just go crazy, but they need to be intellectual enough to think about what I am saying. Yeah,
you're basically saying that people have a choice to.
Yeah, let us not get into this issue, but yes, this is my point. People have to own their decisions. Yeah, this is what I mean by empowerment of people. Yeah, people should own their decisions. Should own their decisions in terms of selecting who rules them and what kind of system, okay, they would like to have. And see, Muslims, if they are average Muslims or above, normally they will choose the best for them to rule them. In fact, this is a natural human being phenomena, okay, which is phenomenal, really, that people normally, if they were given freedom to select who rules them, they normally select the person. If they were free from any kind of negative influence, normally they will select the person who will fulfill their needs, the person who will be the best for them. Muslims in particular, okay, will have this.
Is that true though, Sheikh? If you actually look at democratic countries today, it's very hard to fulfill that initial criterion of if they're actually thinking rationally and they know what's good for them,
and they are free from certain influences.
Because
this is my point.
How can we be free from influence? We see, for example, and this happens regularly, that people from a very maybe far right, for example, background are getting into power across Europe off the back of using democratic means.
We haven't seen we maybe there are a few examples where, okay, as you said, people from the far right, okay, are getting into power,
or even far left.
Yeah, or far left.
I mean, Hitler came into power in Germany using democratic means.
Well, there is a discussion about that, whether he came through. Yes,
but obviously then he sought to undo some of the democratic.
Okay, so there, even if he
but the point is
into
people,
power, just let me mention this, even if he get into power through a democratic process, but he did not remain into power, okay, through a democratic process.
So the people should have the choice to put you in power and remove you from power.
Okay, because this is, and that's why I mentioned we need to have real democracy free from, okay, influences of some powers. Okay, when people have real democracy and they are really free to choose, normally they choose the best for them. Okay, now this is one element, this is one leg. On the other side, if Muslims are active in Dawa in Muslim countries, globally, because we are talking about it globally, then yes, and there is a good level of freedom for them to give da'wah to people, people will see the benefits of Islam. Yes, if, for example, now whenever we mention the word Sharia, people immediately, non-Muslims and even some Muslims, they think of what? They think of hudud, chopping the hands, flogging this, imposing hijab, all these things. They never thought of the mercy of Sharia and the justice of Sharia. These two important qualities. Allah Jalla wa Ala says in the Quran, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَأْمُرُ بِالْعَدْلِ وَالْإِحْسَانِ وَإِيتَاءِ ذِي الْقُرْبَى وَيَنْهَى عَنِ الْفَحْشَاءِ وَالْمُنكَرِ وَالْبَغْيِ. These are the main aims of Sharia: establishing justice, doing good, going beyond justice.
Mercy.
Okay.
Ihsan.
Yes, and show ihsan, show goodness, show forgiveness, show mercy to the general people, and okay, وَإِيتَاءِ ذِي الْقُرْبَى, in particular to the people around you. And Islam forbids any kind of fahsha, bad things, evil things, outwardly, inwardly, and Islam forbids any kind of injustice. So these are the main aims and objectives of Sharia. Now, these aims and objectives of Sharia can be achieved when people worship Allah Jalla Ala. Now, if we have as Muslims the freedom to give people da'wah, and Muslims, they were not put under pressure, and they were also free to learn Islam, they will learn these main aims and objectives of Sharia, and they will explain it to people. We don't need weapons. Yeah, Muslims will not need weapons in order to invite people to Islam. People will accept Islam wholeheartedly just by understanding what Islam is about and what Islam is going to offer them. So
two legs.
So this is the leg of da'wah. Now, once people see the benefits of Islam, yeah, and in particular justice and mercy, then people will what? Will choose the best for them based on justice and mercy, and they will see that Islam is the best way of life to provide them with the justice and mercy, and they will choose Islam. So the empowerment of people doesn't go against the spirit of Islam. In fact, okay, the spirit of Islam goes in line with the empowerment of people, provided that they are receiving da'wah. And this is the methodology of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In Mecca, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam never used any kind of violence, yeah, because his main aim is not to force people to accept Islam or to force people to change the structure of Mecca at that time, means the structure of the government at that time. Yeah, he was not in favor of that. He wants people themselves, yeah, to accept Islam and to call for the structural change. He wanted them to build the government by themselves, okay, not to be to accept kind of external factors to impose that on them. Same thing in Medina, when the Prophet ﷺ moved in Medina, what happened? Yeah, enough number of people accepted Islam in Medina, and many of them were among the elite. Yes, so therefore, okay, you can say this is another form of democratic process, because people accepted Islam, people were empowered to choose the Prophet ﷺ, or the influential people, you can say, in Medina. They had the freedom and they were empowered enough to choose the Prophet ﷺ as their leader, so they choose him, okay, as the leader. Islam, the first Islamic state, we have to understand this, which is the Islamic state of Medina, if the word state is the correct term, was not established by jihad. It was established by what? By da'wah. But what element of da'wah?
People
through the empowerment,
giving bay'ah to the Prophet.
Exactly. Through the empowerment of people, and the people willingly, it chose the Prophet ﷺ to be their leader.
So are you saying that the bay'ah model at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, we can kind of the closest analogy to this is just people using voting, as a democratic right.
Because once you vote, you select. Okay. Let us not have democracy phobia or voting phobia, as some people have. Okay. What is voting? You select a leader. Okay. And once you select him, this is a kind of bay'ah. And this is what happened during the time of the Prophet ﷺ in Medina. Okay. In Mecca first. Because the
bay'ah just means pledge.
The pledge of allegiance.
Or some kind of transaction, right?
Exactly. An agreement that you will be our leader. And they gave this pledge of allegiance to the Prophet ﷺ in Mecca. And that's why he came, and they knew that he is coming. He knew also that he was coming as the leader of Medina. This is what happened during the time of Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Ali bin Abi Talib. And that's why the Prophet ﷺ said that this was a Khilafa Rashida, a rightly guided caliphate. Okay. After that, it was more of monarchy system. Because the Umayyan period, they remained as the Khalifas, or they kept Khilafa, caliphate, within the family of
the dynasty.
Yes, the dynasty
like
of the Umayyan. Okay. Now, so we have the two legs, the leg of Da'wah, and the leg of the empowerment of people. You want to call it Shura, you want to call it democracy, it's not a big problem. For me, there is no big difference between democracy and Shura. In fact, maybe Shura is maybe an advanced system of democracy. Okay.
The point is the word's not that important. The point is you want people to have the ability and to choose and deselect and remove people from power into power.
Yes. And so within this, it is not just only to choose to select. No, it is a whole system. It is a holistic system. They have the right to choose the one who rules them. Okay. They have the right to choose the legal system. They feel that it fits, it is better for them. There will be, as a result of this, transparency, accountability, and that will go from top to bottom. So, and as a result of this, there will be a real civic society, and the civil society will have the empowerment to change the civil society, to the betterment of to make it a better civil society. So it is a holistic system rather than just a system to select the leader. Okay.
So are you saying? So you're saying that this should be called for and pushed in countries.
This should be pushed everywhere.
As countries.
Yes, should be pushed everywhere. So Muslim countries, Arab countries, European countries. And to be honest with you, Alhamdulillah, by the grace of Allah Jalla Ala, we have this level, this democratic system in most of the European countries. So half of the way, to improve our situation has been achieved by having what? By having a democratic system. We as Muslims living in the West, or we as, if you like to call it, some people have a problem with that, European Muslims, or Western Muslims, should make sure that this democratic system is maintained and it improves if there is a room for improvement.
By democratic system here, you mean specifically the empowerment of people here?
The empowerment of people, okay. And we should make sure that this...
The strengthening of civil society.
Exactly. To strengthen the civil society, we should make sure that this democratic system is free from influence or manipulation, or sorry, monopoly, free from any indecent activities that might restrict people to choose the best for them. Okay. Obviously, some people say, what are you talking about? Are you talking about that this system is better than the Islamic system? It is not a dichotomy, either democracy or Islam. Okay, democracy can lead to Islam. Islam is based on democracy. Okay, from this perspective. So there is no actual contradiction. Obviously, as the Prophet ﷺ said, كما تكونوا يولى عليكم. If you are non-Muslims, obviously you might not choose a Muslim leader. If you are Muslims, okay, you will choose someone. You will choose what you believe as the best for you. Okay. So if we as Muslims fail to show the world that we can bring justice and mercy to them, then we deserve it. That's why, okay, we need the other leg, which is the leg of da'wah. And the leg of da'wah, in order to show, as we said, in order to show the world, yes, that our system brings justice and mercy to them. Now, let me just go a little bit. Okay,
just
deeper.
To update with there's some people in the comments on social media there, like you foresaw, they're complaining about your use of the word democracy, and that it actually it's an ideological construct, and you know it essentially means hukam above.
No. This is a very shallow understanding. Okay, so, I'm not bothered at the moment to discuss that. Okay, so let us move on.
It should be sufficient to say you're just using the word to denote some meaning, and the meaning you're saying is completely Islamic, and that is
exactly the empowerment of
human beings.
Yeah?
Whether you call it Shura or democracy or whatever.
Some people say, what about the law of Allah Jalla wa'ala? See, Allah Jalla wa'ala gave us the will to choose or not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, it is true that He told us you have to choose Islam, but in the meantime, has Allah Jalla wa'ala gave us the power to choose?
Yeah, as a choice, yeah.
As a choice. So Allah Jalla wa'ala empowered us. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes,
of course. Yeah. So this is what we want.
But you will be punished if you make the wrong choice.
Agree. The punishment, yes. And this is, but Allah Jalla wa'ala said, you choose, you will be punished, okay, if you don't choose that. And this, what we said, we need da'wah in order to explain these things to people.
Yeah.
But to start with, people have the choice. Yeah? People have free will to choose. Okay? We are saying that give people, as Allah Jalla wa'ala created them to have the free will, give it to them, grant it to them. And most likely, they will choose what is best for them. Yeah?
A human being will only choose for his own benefit anyway,
for his own
what he perceives to be his own benefit.
Especially when people are discussing things among themselves. Yeah, maybe an individual might choose the wrong thing, but when people come together, discuss it, they normally choose what is best for them. And it is very unfortunate that we see non-Muslim Western countries are progressing, in terms of civilization, etc., and many Muslim countries are regressing, from that perspective. Now let me just go a little bit further. See, once we say da'wah, of course the general da'wah, the main aim of da'wah is to protect people from the punishment of Allah Jalla wa'ala if they do not worship Him. Allah Jalla wa'ala says, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. Allah Jalla wa'ala says, وَمَا أُمِرُوا إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ. They were commanded to worship Allah Jalla wa'ala. Allah Jalla wa'ala says, كُلُّ نَفْسٍ ذَائِقَةُ الْمَوْتِ فَمَنْ زُحْزِحَ عَنِ النَّارِ وَأُدْخِلَ الْجَنَّةَ فَقَدْ فَازَ. And so on. This is clear that we need to give people da'wah in order to protect them from the angle of Allah Jalla wa'ala, to protect them from hellfire, and mainly because of the message that Allah Jalla wa'ala gave us and entrusted us with, we need to see everyone in paradise. Okay? Now, this is the main aim of da'wah. Along with that, or in order to achieve that, we need to have number of things. We need to encourage Muslims in general to be involved in what I call the square of influence. What is the square of influence? Has four main corners: politics, law, media, and economy. We need to encourage Muslims to be more influential in those four areas. Whether in Muslim countries or non-Muslim countries. Maybe in Muslim countries, maybe we need to encourage Muslims to be okay, to be involved in the army, okay, because it is very unfortunate that the armies in Muslim countries, they control politics. So in order for politics to be free from influence, yeah, maybe we need Muslims to be in the army, the good people to be in the army, okay, in order to
bring about positive change.
Exactly, yeah, and to protect the political process from any negative influence. So this is the square of influence. We need more Muslims in the political sphere, whether in Muslim countries or non-Muslim countries, in the legal sphere, in economy, and we need them to be strong from economical wise, financial wise, and we need to see them influencing media as well. Okay, this is apart from the general da'wah. Yeah, obviously we need good doctors, good Muslim doctors. We need to have good Muslim engineers. This is given. Yeah, this is given. But in particular, I was talking about. I am focusing on these 4 areas. This is now the leg of da'wah.
So politics, economy,
media, and
law.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the square of influence, and in Muslim countries, the army is the 5th one. Now, in non-Muslim countries, yeah,
so
we need to see
Muslim countries a pentagon,
or maybe a star. Okay, put it the other way around.
Okay.
In non-Muslim countries, we need to see more Muslims involved in politics. Okay, we need more lawyers or engaged in the judicial system. We need Muslims to be strong economically and more involved in the economical financial system, and we need more Muslims to be involved and engaged in media. Yeah. Now, this the du'a. Yeah. The du'a should not just.
You mean speakers and scholars and teachers?
Yeah, and scholars. They should not just focus on maybe social issues to fix the social aspects of Muslims. This is good, but they also need to encourage Muslims to be involved in those 4 areas. It is very unfortunate that many of the du'at, they don't encourage Muslims, okay, to be involved in that. Okay, now, the empowerment of people. Yeah, let us talk about the second leg. I am calling for all the du'at, all the Muslims to rethink about democracy. Why in particular democracy? Okay, now why I'm insisting on the word now, on this word, yeah, on this term. See, we have, whenever we are talking about the revival of the Ummah, we need to think within the legal framework. We need to think within the international law, because this is the legal frame that governs all of us. Some people like it, some people don't like it, you don't like it. This is the frame that governs us all. Yes or no? Can a country, yes, can a country operates outside this legal framework? No, it cannot. Yeah. Some people say, but this framework. I remember I was in a conference and it was really very bad. That's why I want Muslims to rethink, okay, du'at, scholars, etc., all over the world, to rethink about democracy. Yeah, because as I told you, it is the legal framework that we can operate within. Yes. Because it is an internationally recognized system. And I was saying that I was in a conference, and in that conference people criticized me for calling for respecting the international law or working within the international law. I said, whether you respect me, you don't respect me, you accept the international law, you do not accept the international law, you are living by that. Okay, you feel that it is unjust, just whatever you feel about it, you cannot come out of it.
This type of choice.
Yeah.
We've discussed this in the past with different guests, and there's always, with any movement, with any desire for change, there's always a choice.
Yeah.
You can either try and work outside the system and try and call for revolution, or work within the system to make
lip
change.
service. It is not a reality, okay, that you can work outside the system. You tell me, how can a country now operate outside the international law?
I'm not saying it's possible, but
it's not possible.
Many people desire to try and work outside the system, so to speak.
And we ask them how it is. Show me. Show me. Yeah? They want to end up like ISIS. Is this what they want? Is this the model of an Islamic state or Islamic system?
So what would it look like to you to work within international law?
Yes, within the international, because you have no other option.
Yeah.
Okay, briefly, once we empower people, once we have real democratic systems in Muslim countries, then Muslim countries will choose the best to rule them, and they will choose the best law for them. Du'at, people who call Islam, should educate Muslims to choose Islam and to choose what is best for them. Okay, so both legs work hand in hand. Now, just a minute, let me just explain this idea. Now, when Muslims choose the best for them and they have a complete democratic system, there will be transparency, accountability, etc., etc. So countries will improve.
So how will you stop that? How will you ensure that's happening?
An example of this is Malaysia, and Turkey. These are good models, because
I remember you caused quite a controversy when you called Erdogan a reviver.
Yes. And
do you still stand by that statement?
Yes, of course, I still stand by that. But anyway, let us
Is it because for you he was fulfilling the revival in the political circle?
Okay. Yes, as much as he can. Forget about that now, otherwise people will just think about that. But what I am saying is that, just because of time, okay, what I am saying is that when Muslims have the will, the free will to choose, they will choose whatever is best for them, and we have seen this in many countries. If they have the freedom to choose what is best for them. Imagine Turkey. Not all of them are like Islamic extremists, not all of them are Islamic fundamentalists, not all of them are maybe Islamic. But, they chose the AK party, Erdogan, because they found that he is the best and he was proven to be the best for them. Same thing in Malaysia now, and even,
and you're saying the way they can make the best choices is by there being a strong media,
now, in order, yes, that is a good point. Now, in order to achieve this and to have democracy that is free from negative influence, real democracy and real empowerment of people, we need good people to be involved in politics, good people to be involved in the judiciary system, in law. We need people to be involved in media, and we need people to be
pay for
rich and to pay for that, and involved in the financial system. And maybe we need some good people to be involved in the army, in Muslim countries, as I said. So now, imagine we have a country like Turkey, another country like Malaysia, maybe Nigeria. We ask Allah Jalla Ala to help them and to become a better country. We have countries here and there. Those countries will bring revival for the Ummah, and maybe later on, again within the international law framework, they can even be united. They can be united, as it happened before, and it can happen later. So this is my project for the revival of the Ummah. Just a minute. My project for the revival is working. It is a practical project working within. It is realistic, and it is working within the international legal system.
We have a Facebook comment to that tune as well. Hafiz Shabani said, if Europe can have a European Union, NATO, IMF, WBO, why can't all the Muslim countries come together and create a khilafah?
Yes.
As opposed to World Arab League or Islamic Muslim countries?
I absolutely agree with that. Okay,
so
I absolutely agree.
You would call it a khilafah as well?
Forget about the names. Don't worry about the names. But the key point is, when Muslims are going to do this, when
individually they're strong enough.
Exactly. When individually they are choosing the best. So the leaders of those Muslim countries will be what? Will be looking after those countries and will work for the betterment of their countries, and they will see that the betterment for their countries is to come to be united, okay, as Europe united, or as other there are leagues of other countries. I absolutely agree with the comment of the brother.
Okay.
Actually, it was one of was part of my paper.
Okay, so an hour has flown by so quickly, alhamdulillah.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
Like I mentioned to the in the
maybe
beginning,
see if the brothers and sisters are interested, let them send their questions about this topic, and maybe we can have another hour just to answer their questions.
If there's a few on democracy, you're not going to want to answer them.
No. Okay. But I want anyone, before asking about democracy or criticizing democracy or etc., to understand it practically, yes, and to think of the alternative.
Okay.
Don't say that Islam is the alternative of democracy, because this is a very simplistic way of looking at it.
Well, like I said in the beginning, this is inshallah the first of a longer discussion series, inshallah.
Yeah.
And I look forward to reading the paper as well. Maybe we can translate it on Islam21c.
We can summarize it and publish it in English.
Barakallahu feekum. I'd like to thank our guests at home for joining us in this discussion. And I hope you'll join me in thanking our Sheikh Dr. Haitham al-Haddad. I've been your host, Salman Butt, and I hope you carry this conversation on Islam21c.com. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum.
Barakallah.
The reward for shaping our future can be yours. Be part of it.